the most ridiculous thing you've heard a man refuse to do because it was too feminine or for girls? My husband Brian and I had been married for 8 years when our daughter Eliza turned 6. I thought I knew everything about him. I was wronged. IT started at the park one Saturday afternoon. Eliza was racing up the slide steps when she tripped and scraped her knee badly. There was blood everywhere, and tears were streaming down her face. Like most children do when they're hurt, she ran straight to her dad. Brian literally stepped backward like she was holding a snake. He raised his hands and said, "Go to your mom." Eliza stood there sobbing while he stared at her as if she had asked him to put on a dress. I rushed over and picked her up while she cried into my shoulder. The entire playground was watching. Other parents were giving Brian looks that clearly said, "What is wrong with you?" On the drive home, I asked him what that had been about. His answer made my stomach drop. "She's getting too clingy. Girls need to learn early not to be needy. I'm not going to raise her thinking she can run to a man crying." Every time something hurts, I sat there stunned. This was our 6-year-old daughter, not a stranger asking for money. But it wasn't just scraped knees. One night, I got food poisoning and spent hours throwing up. The next morning, Eliza needed her hair brushed for school. Brian refused. That's mom's stuff. Figured out I had to drag myself out of bed and brush her hair while dry heaving over the sink. Before ballet class one day, Eliza needed help fixing her tights because they were twisted and uncomfortable. Brian walked right past her. "Not my job. Wait for your mom." When we walked to school and Eliza's backpack got too heavy, she would ask Brian to carry it. He would shake his head and say, "I'm not carrying that pink thing around. IT looks like a purse." The school later organized a donuts with dad breakfast event. Eliza was thrilled and talked about it for weeks. Brian immediately refused. "That's not for guys like me. Sounds like a tea party." I begged him to reconsider. I told him she would probably be the only child there without her father. He shrugged. "She'll get over it." That was when I started paying closer attention. I began writing things down, taking pictures, and even recording certain conversations. One evening, Eliza spent nearly an hour drawing our family. She was incredibly proud of it and carefully added tiny details to every person in the picture. She ran over to Brian with the biggest smile on her face. "Look, Daddy, I drew us." He looked at it for maybe 2 seconds. "Why am I wearing a pink shirt?" Eliza smiled brightly and said, "Because pink is your favorite color, right?" Brian pushed the paper back toward her. "No, it's not. Don't draw me like that again." Her face fell instantly. I recorded the entire exchange on my phone another time. Eliza was playing with her baby dolls and pretending to feed them bottles. She asked Brian if he wanted to play house with her. He actually laughed real. "Men don't play with dolls, sweetheart. Find something else to do." When she asked why, he replied, "Because taking care of babies is what moms do. Dads do other things." The final straw happened during a sleepover at my sister's house. Eliza was scared of the dark and kept asking Brian to check under the bed for monsters. He refused. "She needs to toughen up. I'm not doing the monster check thing. That's coddling." Later that night, I found Eliza whispering to her stuffed bear, "Daddy doesn't like girls. Not even." Meet my heart shattered. I didn't scream at Brian or start some explosive argument. Instead, I sat him down and showed him everything. The videos, the photos, pages of notes documenting the way he treated anything feminine like it was toxic. He looked through all of it and laughed. "You're being dramatic. She's fine." But she wasn't fine. She had started flinching whenever she cried, as if she expected to be rejected. She stopped showing Brian her drawings. She stopped asking him for help with anything. The judge reviewed everything. Photos of Eliza crying while Brian stood there with his arms crossed. Videos of him refusing to comfort his own daughter. Documentation showing he skipped school events because they were too girly. In the end, the judge awarded me primary custody. Brian was granted weekend visitation rights.